Imagine being in such a toxic relationship that when it finally ends, an entire country starts praying that your ex never sees freedom again. That's exactly what happened to a young woman named Berfin. This story starts in Turkey, back when Berfin was only around 18 years old. She was young, hopeful, and like a lot of people her age, she believed love could change someone. The problem was, the person she fell in love with was a nightmare. Her boyfriend's name was Kasim. At first, things probably seemed normal, but over time, Kasim started showing his true colors. He cheated on Berfin multiple times, and every time she caught him, he somehow convinced her to stay. On top of that, he was extremely controlling. He constantly wanted to know where she was, who she was with, where she was going, what she was wearing, everything. He treated the relationship like ownership instead of love. But despite all of this, Berfin kept forgiving him. Again, and again, and again. Because deep down, she kept telling herself something a lot of people in toxic relationships say: I can fix him. And when she finally introduced Kasim to her parents, they immediately got bad vibes from him. Her mother especially didn't trust him. She warned Berfin and basically told her, "There's something about this man that I don't like." Sadly, she was right. One day in 2019, things took a turn for the worse. Berfin and Kasim met up with a group of friends. But the second Berfin arrived, Kasim became furious. Why? Because he didn't approve of her outfit. In front of everyone, he started yelling at her. He embarrassed her publicly, acting like she had done something terrible just for showing up dressed the way she wanted. And then suddenly, slap! He hit her across the face in front of everybody. Berfin immediately left crying. Later, Kasim tried to apologize. He texted her saying things like, "I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. I love you." But this time, something inside Berfin finally snapped. She was exhausted. How many times could she forgive the same behavior? So she told him it was over. For the first time, she chose herself. But Kasim didn't take the breakup well at all. Instead of accepting it, he became enraged. He texted her threatening messages, telling her, "You're going to pay for this. I won't let you live." At that point, Berfin blocked him completely. She wanted nothing to do with him anymore. But what she didn't know was that Kasim had already become dangerously obsessed. He decided that if he couldn't have her, nobody could, and he started planning something evil. Meanwhile, Berfin was just trying to move on with her life. The breakup hurt, sure, but she probably believed time would heal everything. Then one day, while walking home from school, she had no idea Kasim was nearby. He had been stalking her, watching her, following her, and then suddenly he ran toward her. Before she could even react, he threw a liquid directly onto her face. At first, Berfin didn't even understand what had happened, but within seconds, the pain became unbearable. Her face felt like it was on fire. Her skin burned. Her eyes burned. She collapsed to the ground screaming in agony. Kasim had attacked her with acid, and after doing it, he just ran away, leaving her there. Luckily, Berfin's aunt heard the screams from inside the house nearby. She rushed outside, found Berfin in horrific pain, and drove her to the hospital as fast as possible. Later, Berfin's parents arrived, and there, doctors gave them devastating news. Berfin would be permanently disfigured. She had completely lost one eye and could barely see out of the other. Her injuries would affect her for the rest of her life. And because there was absolutely no doubt about who did it, Kasim was arrested almost immediately. But the story didn't stay local for long. News of the acid attack exploded across Turkey. People were horrified. Social media flooded with support for Berfin. Thousands of people rallied behind her. Donations poured in to help with medical costs, and Turkey's Ministry of Health even stepped in to help cover specialized surgeries. Over time, Berfin underwent dozens of reconstructive procedures. Dozens. Her parents stayed beside her through everything, helping her recover, supporting her emotionally, watching their daughter suffer through unimaginable pain. And after all the surgeries, Berfin started styling her hair in a way that covered her most damaged eye, hoping people in public wouldn't stare at her. But despite everything she'd been through, Berfin refused to disappear quietly.
Instead, she began telling her story publicly. She gave interviews. She appeared in the media. She spoke openly about violence against women, and eventually, she became a national symbol in Turkey. Women's advocacy groups supported her. Lawyers stepped in to represent her in court. People across the country wanted justice for her. It felt like the entire nation was standing behind her. Then came the trial. Qasim was found guilty, and everybody expected him to receive life in prison for attempted murder. After all, he had permanently destroyed a young woman's life. But then the sentence was announced. 13.5 years. That's it. The public was furious. People felt the punishment was nowhere near enough for what he had done. Even Turkey's president publicly criticized the sentence for being too light. Berfin herself was devastated. In interviews, she asked the court, "Is all my suffering worth only 13 years?" But as shocking as that was, the craziest part of the story was still coming. While sitting in prison, Qasim somehow convinced himself that he could still win Berfin back. So he started writing her love letters from jail. He apologized constantly, claimed he had changed, claimed he still loved her, claimed he wanted another chance. At first, Berfin ignored it emotionally. She thought he was manipulating her. But the letters kept coming. Again, and again, and again. And eventually, she started replying. Over time, they began communicating regularly. And somehow, Berfin slowly started believing the same thing she believed at the very beginning. I can fix him. Then, shockingly, she officially withdrew her complaint against him. She even sent a formal letter saying she loved him. When the public found out, it was like a bomb exploded online. The same people who donated money to help her, the activists who fought for her, the lawyers who defended her, even her own parents. They all felt heartbroken and confused. People couldn't understand how she could go back to the man who had literally tried to destroy her life. But somehow, it got even worse. In 2020, during the COVID pandemic, Turkey changed some prison laws to reduce overcrowding in prisons. And because of those new rules, Qasim became eligible for release much earlier than expected. So after serving only around 2 years, he walked free. Then in 2021, shortly after getting out of prison, Qasim met up with Berfin again, and he proposed to her. And unbelievably, she said yes. The woman he attacked with acid, the woman he permanently disfigured, married him, and they did it secretly. Even Berfin's parents had no idea. In fact, her father only found out after seeing photos online like everybody else. Imagine that. After years of protecting your daughter, fighting for justice, supporting her through surgeries and trauma, you open social media and discover she has married the man who nearly killed her. Her father was devastated. He later told reporters, "I cannot accept this man as my son-in-law. I spent years fighting for justice for my daughter, and now it has all been in vain." And in the end, Berfin became estranged from many of the people who once stood beside her, the people who tried to save her, the people who supported her, the people who fought for her. All watched in disbelief as she chose to spend her life with the man who almost took it away.